probably yesterday or the day before. Pay attention to that. I'm going to show you a very vital step in that. If you're not going to export recordings, and that's nothing that you have to deal with, please disregard, but it's been very important the last, 6 months. And basically what this is once you hit the record button and you finish your recording for that session, it's going to be on our recording servers for 120 days. Then after that 120 days, it's automatically deleted. So if you need to save it for anything important, like end of the year stuff, turn in grades, whatever, it's your responsibility to get it out of our system and put it on that power drive. Now, all those directions I sent out to you, if you don't have them, you don't know what I'm talking about, let me know, and we'll make sure we get it to you, okay? Alright, so what I'm going to do, very first off, is I'm going to actually map that drive I'm talking about. So I'm going to right click on this PC icon and go to Map Network Drive. Now if you see there's an option here to reconnect that sign in. This is really, really cool because when let's say you use this machine on a daily basis, and this is going to be your main one or the one downstairs, once you do this process, it's already going to be there when you log in next time. Does that make sense? Okay.
Hey Chris, real quick, about the storing stuff.
Yeah.
Are you going ahead and talking about that?
Yes.
Okay. Could you go grab the second years and tell them to come on, please?
Well, I'll do it again. That's
okay.
Fine. It's just important. I feel like it wasn't pushed enough before.
Okay.
It's going to get pushed enough today.
Okay, because Aaron kind of was holding them back until they've done some recording.
Okay. This is for if this is future use, that's fine, but I always want you to be aware that this is a step you're going to need to take to save your recordings. So.
And by the way, if y'all don't know who we are, did you introduce?
I did. I'm sorry. My name. Ready to get going, All right. So my name is Chris Mahler. I work with ITCS, Multimedia Technology Services. I am the Occularis administrator. So anything associated with the system, the cameras, the audio, recordings, I'm your guy. These gentlemen here are also, I guess they can be your guy too. What do you think?
Yeah. So my name is Rich Ramirez. I'm the Director of Technology for the College of Health and Human Performance. And this is Tom Sarant. He's second in charge. Usually he's the one you want to go to anyway because he knows what he's doing. So, but anything y'all need with Occularis, the first thing you're going to want to do is reach out to your faculty advisors or Aaron or anything if you have problems. Make sure they know about it because if it affects your grade or your program of study, they need to know because I don't graduate you. All right?
Yeah, there you go. But I'm the administrator. I let we get folks in, we get folks out. There's a form you probably had to fill out, online through RedCap. There's a lot of things that we do. But if you have any questions in the future, you have any worries, obviously contact these guys or Aaron like he's talking about. But you can contact me too. I need to know when things aren't working. I need to know when you're worried about your recording not being there. Because there was some times this past year that happened and I wasn't too happy about it. So anyway, let's move on. All right, so what we've done is we're trying to map a network drive. There are directions on this, and the guys I sent out, ECU has them as well. They're their ITCS help site if that's something you're interested in. But once you get up to this point, and let me back up since I've kind of danced around here. Cancel. So when you first log in, Rich, your mouse is slow.
Why is it my mouth? Isn't it your
No, not my equipment. All right, so right click on this PC, go to Map Network Drive. Then it's going to be / power drive. Then / again, it's going to be HHP _Occularis. Now, a part of this is you need to have access to this. So if you have not requested access to Occularis, you're not going to even be able to get to this point. So just be aware of that. Again, make sure it says reconnect, get sign in, and voila. So what this means is each time you log into this machine, you've got access to that power drive. When it comes time to export recordings, there's a step in the future that this is vital, that this is a part of. So go ahead and knock this out. Do one less thing you got to worry about. Is there any questions about this step?
Can you go back again? I didn't get.
Yeah, sure. All right, so right click on this PC. And then go to Map Network Drive.
And what did you type in? Sorry.
That's okay. And it's on the guide too.
Oh, okay.
So / pirate drive. And then / again. Then it's going to be HHP _ Occularis.
Okay, thank you.
No, you're welcome.
We're just
Okay.
getting started.
Okay.
Alright, so that was how we would map the drive in case you need it. I know there may be something you do farther down the line. Alright, so in order to log into Occularis, double click the little blue man here in the white box. And go ahead with authentication, change it to current Windows user. Now, this kind of goes back to when you logged in with your Power ID. There's no generic accounts, don't log in with someone else's account here at ECU, that's just a no-no. So make sure it's your Power ID. But again, go to current Windows user and beside authentication, click server. And for the very first time when you log in, you're gonna have to set this up. So what that means is you gotta type in 172. I know I've already got it there, but I'm just gonna go to 30.24.1. And that's the IP address for our admin server. And again, everything I'm talking about is on the guide, so if I glaze over something and you're not quite sure, you can definitely check that out.
You missed a 0.
I did.
Yeah,
I
after
did,
the
thanks,
three.
man. See, somebody's on the ball around here. I think it's his keyboard.
It probably is.
I blame the tech group that handles this.
Yeah. Hey.
When you're ready, you click login. Now, I will say this, it usually takes probably, when you first log on, probably about a good 10 or 15 seconds for it to come up. I have no control over that, so don't fret too much. When you do log in, you should see the screen that I'm showing here. Just a black screen, you won't see any cameras. Now, in order to select each camera, what you do is you right click and click on the camera icon. See where it says select camera? And these are all the cameras you have access to. All the ones upstairs, the ones, I think we've got 2 downstairs, and obviously all the ones over at Reddit House. We're in 210, there are 2 cameras in here. So you've got one in each corner, they're all tied to audio. So you've got your microphone there right above you. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on 210. And there we are. Now, one thing to notice is when I came in, it was recording. You had started it, and that's fine. But I really wanted to show it when I was in the room. In order to start recording, you go down to the aux button. This is your friend. You see where it says auxiliary functions? Click on the aux button. You've got record start and record stop. Now, obviously, we want to start a recording. We're going to click on record start. Now, within a few seconds of clicking that button, you should see this little red LED beside live. That lets you know that audio and video are both being recorded in this room. Now, from the time you press record, there is a timeout on here. We didn't want to, use up all our storage on campus or on campus. So there's, I believe it's a 2-hour timeout. I think I've got it on the guide. We've got so many sites, I can't remember. But anyway, from the time you hit record, you've got 2 hours. Now, this doesn't mean you can't go back and do some more recording. It just means you've got 2 hours for this session. Let's say you guys are talking, and not that your sessions go past 2 hours, but let's say you're recording something and you need to go back and click that button again, just log back in and click record. So, now, you guys are pretty lucky. The cameras you have in there are really nice. They're all pan, tilt, zoom cameras, meaning they can pan, tilt, zoom anywhere in the room. So what I'm going to do is, if you notice,
So we spend a lot of money on you guys.
yeah,
Yeah.
use it.
So we have,
Use it,
yeah, so use it.
So use it. But in order to move the cameras, you see where that little, I call it a donut, so the little clear donut pops up. You have to hover over to the center of the camera view, left click and drag it wherever you want it to go. Let me show you how detailed this can be.
Don't, why you gotta put it on?
I'll pick on your water bottle. I'll
Okay.
back off a little bit. There you go. But yeah, they are very detailed. And one thing to note with recording, from the time you hit recording, it's doing both video and audio. There's no extra steps or what have you. It's recording our audio as we speak, so be careful on what you say. So, but in order to get back, what we'll do is we need to obviously zoom out. And you can use the wheel here on the mouse and it'll back it off. That's a little slow. What I normally do is I'll go and I'll hit the minus or the zoom out icon over here in the right hand corner. Now some of these directions as far as the camera controls, I omitted from the guide by accident, so that's my goof. I saw that this morning, so we'll get those in. But again, that zooms out. So if you happen to come in here and you looked at Occularis and you realize the camera's looking at the wall, or it's looking at the back of somebody's bald head like mine, you want to move it, you just need to log in and move it out the way. So, any questions about that? All right, so we'll kind of center that back up. So this camera's working. Obviously, it's recording, so we're good there. What I'm going to do is, since there's two cameras, I'm going to go ahead and have both cameras recording at the same time. That way, if I need to see maybe, you know, the person you're interviewing or the person you're working with, you want to see their face. Let's say that one camera's got me as the counselor, you've got the other camera looking at the patient or what have you. If my terminology is wrong, I'm an IT person, so I'm struggling. All right, so we know it's 210, so we did the first camera, which is in 210, so we'll do 210-2. And all I did was I right-clicked, I selected the camera icon, and then selected that other camera. Now, if you see, top right-hand corner, there's no red LED, so we know it's not recording. So what do? Aux, yeah. Click on your aux button, again, that's your friend. And then record start. And then within a second or two, you should see that red button, and we're live, we're recording. So again, don't say any curse words.
Yes, ma'am.
So how would you be able to kind of hear, if we were watching this live, say on, you know, for a session that's in the other room, taping in the other room,
Right.
how would we be able to hear it live?
Okay, great question. All right, so one thing to notice, since we're recording in this room, I don't want to do the audio playback because there will be a loop. So what we can do, is there anybody we can pick on right now?
Do you want me to go? I'll go in
We
there.
go another room?
Yeah.
Don't talk to yourself.
Okay.
And you can start recordings in any room. So if you wanted to record right now in the Reddit House classroom, we could do that. So you don't have to be.
You don't have to.
You don't want to be in the same room that you're
What room
gonna
you
be
want me in?
recording.
Just
We'll
whatever
find
works.
you.
Well, you'll find me.
Play with the toys.
So you don't want to come in here in front of the client and start your recording.
Right.
You want to be in another room or downstairs,
Correct.
start it, come up and do that. Make sure you have their approval
Yeah.
in
Yes.
writing.
Yeah, that's
that
fine.
Which you will,
If
at the,
not,
we do
you
that
will.
in intake.
You'll have some trouble.
We will all be in a world of pain.
All right, so let's go find Rich. So what I need to do is right click, go on the camera. So you know we're in 210, let's see if he's in 28.
Oh, first try.
I don't like that camera angle, so I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna go to the other one. It'll be 208. There we go. Now he can't hear us, but we can definitely hear him. So in order to hear audio, looks loud. You do have to click the audio icon in the top right-hand corner. By default, it will not be on. Like you won't be able to hear a single word that's spoken until you hear this icon.
This is great.
But that's just for watching live, right?
That's just
It's
for
still
well-
recording audio.
Now, it will still be recording audio. It's a great question. From the time you hit record, like I said earlier, it's doing both. You don't have to press that icon other than to just hear what's going on. What we'll do, so we'll just kind of zoom in. He looks a little impatient. He's probably like, yeah, he's texting Tom right now. Can I come back? So anyway, that's how you would hear a recording, or hear live. Yeah, let's go ahead and let him come back. So again, I'm going to clear out this camera view. I can actually just X out of it. That just clears it out completely. And so we want to go back to our room. Right click again, select camera, 210. There we go. So any questions about switching between cameras, listening to audio? Okay.
Can you show them the grid view
The grid view. What's the grid view?
when you see all the cameers?
They don't have access to that yet. That was something. Yeah.
Because you guys can see everything.
Yeah, no.
Hey, don't click that one.
Yeah, don't do that.
Click that
What
one.
that was.
That
is-
one looks serious.
We can talk about that another day. I guess I shouldn't say too much. All right, so we started recording. We swapped cameras. We added another recording. Obviously, we want to know, how do we play this back? When you're sitting either at this machine or another one, we want to know how we can get our recording back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording in here. Once I stop it, that red LED should go away. We've got to stop the other one as well, so I'm going to right click, go to camera, 210-2. You see I'm still recording.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to aux, and then record stop. This is the only way you can start and stop recording. There's no other function. Alright, so we're in live mode. You see that up there? So it says live. Now we're going to go into browse mode. Browse mode allows us to pull up, bless you, to pull up, previous recordings. So I'm going to click on browse. It takes us out of live mode. You won't see live up here anymore. It says playback. Now this is a surveillance system, so some of this may look a little funny looking. What you need to do is, in order to play a recording from a previous time, there's a couple different ways to do it. What I like to do is I can click on go to a specific time under the camera controls. If you notice, you can kind of hover over each one, and it tells you more about each function. At least it's supposed to. Oldest frame, next sequence, previous sequence. But this little watch looking icon, if you click on that, it'll bring up a calendar feature and a time feature. Now the time feature is in military format. It's a surveillance system, so that was a part of that. So let's say we want to go to recording that maybe was done earlier in the day. Obviously we would left click and then drag that time. Now one thing you notice, you're going to see clients on here that you may not have worked with, have clearance to view their recordings. Please obviously don't click play on those. The way that the permissions are set is we all use the same cameras, we all can view the same recordings. There's no way to divvy that up. So just be respectful of that. So let's say we want to go to a recording maybe a couple of days ago. We go to 29, 28, and just kind of go back. And lucky enough, it looks like there was one on the 27th. Not sure about the time.
Are we looking for the clinic ghost?
Yes. Yes. I heard about that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I've got it on video somewhere.
We used to.
You did? Okay.
We used to have.
So if you know the time and the date of your recording, you can go and then use the specific time and date. Another quick feature you can do is actually go to, I can get back to it, move to previous sequence. And what that'll do is it'll bring you to the very first frame of the previous recording. And you can circle through each one. So there's several for this particular room. I think there's a client on this, but obviously we're not seeing them yet. So let me left click and drag and see how far we have to play with this. It looks like a recording was started. Okay, there's a client, so what we're going to do is I'm going to back this off. And what we'll do is we'll just play it maybe the first couple minutes when there's no one in the room. Pay attention. These are obviously your icons, so just click on play. The play button. Here, play forward. And just like we did before to hear audio, same thing with playback. You have to hit the audio icon. And you should hear maybe just a little bit of feedback, or at least room noise to let you know that it is playing back. Obviously you've got the timeline going on down here. Let's say you got going, you realize that maybe this is not the right recording you want to look at. What you could do is hover over to the left again, and then go to the next sequence. The same thing. You can left click, and then drag, maybe go a few more, and then you'll be able to see who's in the room. But let's say, 210 wasn't my room. I'm in the wrong place for some weird reason. What I can do is right click, clear this viewport out, right click again, and then select camera. Let's say we were in maybe in let's see here, what's another room you guys use pretty heavily?
208.
Yeah, 208.
Okay, so
Yeah.
208. Alright, so there's 208, right around the time that we were using with the previous room. So we still have to go find a sequence or a frame that we were using. Let's see, oldest frame.
Bless you.
So looks like we've got a recording on the 9th of January. I just want to see, which client it was. Okay, there's Sarah. I'm not sure if that's Sarah, but anyway, that lets me know, hey, this is my recording, and I can click play. Again, if it's not, and I know it's a little bit further out, I can go click on next sequence. And again, if you want to do the time and date, you hit the specific time icon, looks like a little watch, and then you can drag this as you see fit, and you should see recording, down here in red. I know that some of this can be a little confusing if you're not familiar with this kind of point. So we would hover up to the top and click on live. Immediately it says live in the right hand corner. So is there any questions about recording or playback? Did you want me to show them how to export? I couldn't remember.
Yes.
I want to export a copy of what we did today. We had our session, me and Rich here, and I really want to put this guy under some scrutiny. We need to save this recording so we don't lose it in 120 days. I can use it for my project or my final grade. So what I need to do is I need to go back to the room, right click, keep my camera again. We know we were using 210, but I think 210.2 was, yeah, there we go. And I'm going to go back to browse mode. I have a whole lot going on the 16th. So I can do one or two things. I can use specific date again, or I can do the newest frame. And there's the newest frame of our recording. I'll back it up some. You see we've got kind of a short time span of where we did some recording in here. So what I'm going to do is, I don't want to have the whole conversation. I just want to maybe have 10 minutes where he tells me that he's more of a Carolina fan than an ECU fan. And I want to save that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say right about here is when he finally told us what we didn't want to hear. And I'm going to do my start marker. And if you notice, again, if you hover over it, it'll tell you what it is. I know these controls are kind of jumbled up. But get your start marker, left click and drag, and you'll notice that there's a little orange bar that sticks right there. And it lets you know that's the region that's going to be exported. But we still have to have an ending spot or ending clip. So what we're going to do is do a stop marker. And now we've got Rich on tape saying he's a closet UNC fan.
No, I'm an NC State fan.
Okay, I'm just letting you know. That's not what you said.
Thank
Okay. All right. So again, we've got a start and our stop marker. Now I'm going to go ahead and export it. Go to database format. The reason why we do a database format is it keeps everything secure. Recordings that are put in this format, you can't put them into like a web application and break the videos up. You can't edit it. You can't add anything to it. It's all part of HIPAA security. So for the folder, obviously we need to go to that, the HHP hard drive we talked about earlier. So since I mapped it, I'm really hoping it shows up. Yeah, there's like 2 or 3 times I did it. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on my HHP drive. And you notice I've got some other recordings here. Now at this point, I'm going to click on the drive and then maybe make a new folder so I can identify this recording, this room, time, so I can go back and look at it fairly quickly. So I'm going to click on make new folder. And I'm going to type in, you don't have to do this with your clients. I wouldn't do type in the client name. This is just for testing. So say Rich test run or something like that.
What about if they put their last name?
Yeah, you could do it.
Or their pirate ID,
Make changes.
maybe.
All right, my permissions for this person are not good. So I'll just do default folder for now. It's a new folder, I'll click OK. Alright, so for file name, this is definitely where you would want to put more information, whether it's like the date, the room you were in, the client's name or your last name. I guess you can't do client's name because that would be
There's like codes they use, I think.
Okay. Whatever your policy is, again, I'm a tech guy, I don't know.
Yeah, so the easiest probably would be put your pirate ID with the date, and then you should be able to figure it out from there unless you're doing multiples a day,
Right,
and then you can do like 1_2_3.
Yeah. I think I've seen a lot of places they do pirate ID and then underscore and like the date and then time, military time, so 1:30, 20, and then underscore like 1200 or whatever it was. Now by default, I've got the room, let's say the room audio and video feeds are always going to be default checked. Never uncheck those. If you do, it's on you and you won't get your audio. So just leave that one alone. Part of this, you'll see this in the directions, is you want to export the Occularis viewer with it. The benefit of this is, let's say you have to do a presentation on your recording and playback. And let's say you're doing it maybe downstairs or in a room on campus, that doesn't have Occularis. Well, if you have the viewer on there, you won't need Occularis. It'll just run automatically with the viewer. Now, anyone that is obviously knows anything about HIPAA, you'll see this in the directions. We definitely recommend using a password. That way, if worse comes to worse, you know, recording got put somewhere it wasn't supposed to, you got a password, and that way you're not seeing, you know, Rich on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or anything. You know, I know how you are. So just bet, you know, you can use password as extra protection. I think today I'll just do 1, 2, 3, 4.
Don't use that password.
Don't use
by the
that
way.
password.
Password.
And also encrypt the data. So like I said, if something happens to the recording, it gets in the wrong hands. Not that that's going to happen ever, because I trust you guys, because I know all of you. I'm going to click export.
Now let's say they forget their password.
Yeah, that's on there.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so that little sound lets you know it exported. But however, what you can do, yeah, there's video and audio. It'll let you know when it's done up here. But let's say it's a longer span of time. Obviously, we only did a couple minutes. It's going to take a longer period of time for that thing to get out of the system. So what you'll do is go to Jobs, and it'll let you know how it's going. So normally there'll be, I think it's a little green bar, like a progress bar. Is there any questions about this one? Okay.
You're good with this.
I'm going to go back and click on Live. There we are again. And one thing that's very important in this login or in this process is make sure when you're finished using Occularis on this machine that you log out. You shut down and everything, because we've had it before where somebody will lock Occularis and walk away, and then I'll get an ugly email, Occularis isn't working, I can't log in. Well, unfortunately, the way this license works is if Rich logs in, only Rich can use it. But if Tom goes in behind him and tries to use it, it's going to have an error message. So just remember that. You need to make sure the machine's ready for the next person behind you. What you'll need to do is go near the top right hand corner, and you, my PlayStation folks know that's like a power button. Click log off and shut down. That way there's no question about it. Occularis is shut down. And I would also recommend logging off. Don't lock the machine. A lot of people do that. I don't understand it. Sign out. Now I'm completely signed out of this out of Windows. He can go behind me and use it as he sees fit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this PC, and I'm going to go back to that map drive that we exported our recording to. So you know it was the HHP drive, which I know I've got a bunch here. That was just for examples. But you should only have one up here, so double click on that.
You'll see your power drive.
Yeah, you'll see your power drive up there, which is fine. And then just go back and select the folder, and there's your recording. Now, one thing to note is a lot of times when these are coming off a power drive, they may look a little funny. You see where it says .oml? That's the name of the file you need to run. But what's going to happen when you double click on it for the very first time, it's going to say, hey, do you want to open this file? So what you can do is actually click OK. Get out of here. Double click on the auto run batch file. Hopefully it'll let me do this. Yeah, there it is. And what it's going to do, you see where it changed to blue? And then it automatically will pop up viewer. And you put your password in.
The one you signed the video.
Yeah, so we know it was 1, 2. Please don't ever use this password. 3, 4. And you click OK. And there we are.
Yay.
You can maximize it just like you would with any other program. Look at Erin in the background. She's so excited.
Oh, that's an awesome image of me.
Action shot.
The controls are basically the same. You just click play. I say that, and it's not playing.
Using my hands.
There it is.
All hands.
Anyway, we're not gonna watch the whole thing. I know I kind of throw a lot of stuff at you, so again, there's a guide. You know, if you get confused or whatever, just let us know.
Any questions? All right, I think we're ready for the